So, welcome friends. So today we will discuss about mental status examination. Already we discussed about the case history format, and that case history format was based upon the IGNOU format. And today we will discuss about the mental status examination. Sorry for my pronunciation, I was so much in speed, so that's my fault. So this mental status examination format also is based upon the IGNOU's format. Again, this is the continuation of the IGNOU's case history format, and after that I am saying about the mental status examination. So what is the mental status examination? Mental status examination is about the mental state of the individual, or we can say that the mental state of the client who is coming to you. We have to check what's the mental status of that person. So what format include this type of the format in, for example, this mental status examination, which type of the information or the pattern or the topic we have to include that help us in getting the information from the client. So that is the first of all the general appearance. In the general appearance, this is first include the weight. After that there is many thing we will discuss about. The first is where we can see in this section is the weight and hair. Weight is like obese, overweight, underweight or others. Hair, bizarre style, unnatural color or unkempt, and also the normal. So whenever a client is coming to you, we have to observe the weight and hair, and many things is there. We have to observe that. Weight is obese or overweight or underweight or others. Hair is like bizarre style that we not in a not as usual we see that's we can see as the, or can say as the bizarre style. Something is different, something is very unusual. And after that we have to observe like unnatural color, something like yellow ochre or orange or blue, something different. That is not a problem or the issue, but we have to just input that information, or it's unkempt or not. After that, dress or eye contact also we have to observe about the dress or eye contact. Dress is the underdress, overdress, bizarre or normal, and eye contact also partial, present and absent. What type of dress, we don't have to put that information, but how it put in, that we have to observe. It is that underdress, it is that overdress, it is that bizarre or normal. Overdress means for example, someone is wearing a salwar. So over that salwar she is wearing a jacket, also she is wearing a is like a scarf in the on the neck. She is also wearing a salwar, a chundri, but she is also wearing a jacket to cover up the body, or the it can be anything for that we can only see, or that we can only observe by client. So it can be overdressed, like she is wearing a salwar and over it she is wearing a jacket, or over it she is wearing a scarf or anything else. That by seeing the person, that by observing the person, you can actually understand, or you can clearly understand. Underdress is something is too much less dress is there, too much less dress. After that, bizarre dress. Sometimes people wear the dresses, something is so much unusual that we cannot see usually in a general way. So that is the bizarre thing. After that, the eye contact, partial, present or absent. We have to observe the client or the individual that eye contact is present, partial or absent or not. Present means that the person is when she or he is saying something, he is looking at me and saying the thing that he wants to say. And the absent is he is saying his own sentences or the words, but there is no icon. Whenever she or he is saying something to me, he is not looking at me but saying his own things. After that, the thing is the present, sorry, the partial is sometimes is looking, sometimes not looking at me. That's the thing is partial. She is talking in her way, she is talking her own issue or whatever he wants to say, but sometimes there is a eye contact with me and sometimes there is no eye contact with me. After that, the thing is rapport and also the touch with surroundings. Rapport, what is rapport? Rapport is that we have to make a relationship, a client counselor relationship with the client, and also we can say as a neutral relationship with the client. Rapport is the thing is when we start a conversation or through a conversation we make a relationship with a client through the empathy. So rapport is the thing where we can touch the emotional surroundings or the emotional base of the person through the empathy and the conversation. That's the rapport. And here the rapport include the easily established with difficulty. So whenever the thing, that means I can see or I can observe the emotional base of the individual through the rapport, and sometimes is we can see or we can observe that it is very easy for us to make that rapport with the person, but sometimes there is a thing that the rapport making session or the rapport making time or the process of rapport become very difficult for us because there can be many things to unreveal, and sometimes we cannot observe, or sometimes cannot we imagine, or we cannot find out the what reason or what type of the idea can help us to unreveal his emotional base. So that makes us very difficult to make the rapport very easily. So that very individual to individual, that very by the incident to incident, not all the person helps you to make, or not all the all time the counselor can help himself or herself to make rapport, easily established rapport. There will be a difficulty always. Touch with surroundings, present, partial or absent. Touch with surroundings means he or she knows where he or she is. That's the touch with surroundings, that I know where I am, why I am, and when I came, when I will go. So that's the thing is touch with surroundings. After that, the thing is attitude toward the examiner. Attitude toward the examiner include cooperative, defensive, guarded, suspicious, uncooperative, integrating, hostile or others. Attitude toward the examiner means attitude toward the counselor. What type of the attitude the client has toward the counselor? That include cooperative. That means whenever a client is going to you or the going to counselor, he is so much he or she is so much cooperative with the counselor to find out the problem, to find out the solution, and make counselor make counselor help to deal his or her own problem along with the person. So that is the very cooperative attitude. We sometimes can see that the client is very helping to make me understand what's the issue. So after that, the defensive, sometimes we can see that and the defensive thing is like, whatever you will try to say, or whatever you will make him understand, or whatever you will make get the idea of the client, or to the client will always in a defensive mode. You can easily observe, like, why I will do this, why I have to do that, no, why not the other person is doing, all the fault is mine, not the other person, I will not going to do, I will not listen to you, you are only finding my fault. So that's the defensive thing. And also you can find many other things also by observing the case. After that, guarded, whatever you will say to the client, you, something is there that you cannot reveal, something, there will be like a wall that you cannot break down. So that's the guarded thing that you cannot break down. After the suspicious, you can also observe uncooperative. This is the simple thing. Integrating, hostile and others. Integrating means like cooperation, in a balanced way, in a cooperative way, in a there will be a both way pattern. Sometimes the counselor is helping, sometimes the client is helping the counselor to solve out the problem. So that is the in a integrating manner. Hostile is something like they will something different you will can see. That is the thing is like the adverse situation. The adverse situation you can see from the client. The adverse situation means that he or she is not so much cooperating, not so much integrating in a way, or that's the normal thing, that's not a problem. But you can see that the hostility from the client. Sometimes you can see he or she is very much aggressive, very much defensive. So that's also include. After that there is the comments. Comments means, here I included the word comments because of that whenever we are saying something to you, that means the client, or whenever we are observing a client, what statements or what words make help us to understand that he or she is like that, or he or she get us this type of the information. For example, the dress is not so much, the dress is overdressed, the hair is unkempt, or the attitude toward the examiner was not so much uncooperative, touch with surroundings was absent. So what words, what attitude, or the behavior, what sentences makes you clear that this things happens, and this things I observe in the client. So after that, motor behavior includes hyperactivity, restlessness, awkward gestures, self-injurious behavior, retarded, tics, mannerism, stereotype. Also there are the many things is there. Motor behavior is the thing when motor behavior is a simple thing. Motor behavior is our activity in our motor the motor activity basically. If we are moving the hand, if we are moving the legs, that's all over the thing is included in the motor behavior. So the motor activity we will include in this section. Hyperactive means you can observe easily the person is so much active that he is so much restless, he is not in a state of sitting in the chair, not so much in the listening the counselor, always he is in a restless manner, always is going out or coming in inside. So something is not so much in a balanced way, something is very much restless thing you can see, or something is like he is talking too much, he is activating too much. This is the thing is there, so much things. So in a while or in a minute, she or he is standing up five times, or sitting 5 times, or coming out 5 times. So many things will you can see will be there in the situation. After that, you can also see the awkwardness of the motor behavior. Something is different, you and that's the thing, always not explained by the words, that you have to observe from the client gestures. You have to see self-injurious behavior is like, self-injurious behavior means the person is hurting himself or herself, and that marks or the thing you can see in her face or in her body, in her hands. That's the thing. So gestures like smiling, crying, through these things you can understand the body gestures is something different, that from the hands or legs, from the postures, from the yes, from the postures, from these things you can understand the verbal gestures or the the non-verbal gestures you can understand by the smiling, crying, by the aggression, by the silence also. So this is the thing, and non-verbal gestures we can easily not easily, we can project to others in a non-verbal way. So gestures sometimes also include the verbal, including the gestures and the non-verbal gestures, we can see that. After that, retarded things, something there is different, something motor behavior. In the case of the motor behavior, retarded means I think that the thing is so the motor activity, retardation in the motor activity means like slowed speech, decreased movement. This is the thing. Or sometimes you can see also the impaired cognitive functions. So this is the thing you can easily observe. After that the thing I said, the gestures, injurious, self-injurious behavior, retarded, tics, mannerism and stereotype. Tics, something is different, that is the is. Tics is like a compulsive, a repetitive sound or movement that's often difficult to control, that the patient or the client have no control over it, in a compulsive manner, in a repetitive manner, that is having in the patient, and that can have the causes that aren't due to underlying diseases. That's the thing. After that, what is the mannerism? Mannerism is the manners of the individual, a gestures or a way of speaking or behaving. That's the mannerism. A distinct style in art, literature or the music, that is also included in the person's personality. So everything that we can observe, that we can understand from the person's attitude or the behavior, that is the mannerism. Stereotype is like something different, something cognitive based things. For example, stereotype is like a certain religion is like this, heinous, a certain religion is like so much kind. So this is the stereotype, already a concept, that is basically the cognitive based concept, that these things are this type, these things are that type. So that's the thing in the case of the stereotype manner. And in the case of the motor behavior, we see like for example, I am trying to say that, for example, I can say like it is a condition in which a person makes repetitive purposeless movements. For example, hand waving, body rocking or head banging. This is the stereotype thing. And basically these movements interfere with the normal activity and also may cause the bodily harm, because is the repetitive thing. So in any situation, in any environment this can happen. And because this is a repetitive thing, because it is a condition, so you cannot control. And because it is a repetitive thing, because this is repetitiveness in any situation, in any environment, this can happen, and that can harm the individual. If in this way or this extent, if this is happening, then it can harm you or the others and the person himself or the herself. After that we are getting hallucinatory behavior, touching examiner, silly smiling, negativism, and the rigidity. So, what's the hallucinatory behavior? Hallucination is something like that when the stimulus is not present, but the person is thinking that the stimulus is present and he or she is reacting according to that stimulus. So, this is like a false feeling whenever we are trying to say the meaning of the hallucination. So, this is the case, and we can also see in the case of the hallucinatory motor behavior. After that, the person is touching examiner or not. Silly smiling we can also observe by observing the case. Negativism is something is there or not. Rigidity, that he or she is so much rigid, not so much in a way of expressing, or not so much the expressing the information, or something different that you cannot explore the person, you cannot observe the person. So something is different, the thing you can see in the person when you are observing the individual. In the motor functioning, we can see the difficulty in the motor behavior. This is the thing, basically the simple thing I can understand, that's the problem in the motor behavior. That's the thing is rigidity. And in very much specific way, the special psychologist or psychiatrist can say you, this is the normal understanding of me, so I am saying the meaning of that information. Again, the thing is comments, and I already discussed about that what information, what words or the statements make you happen to write this information, help you to get this information. You can write in the comment section that this word or this statement can these statements help me to find out the problem or the issue of the individual, so I write it down. After that, mood or affect. Subjective is diurnal variation, yes or no. Objective is anxious, panicky, fearful or depressed. Subjective thing we have to write, that he or she is irritable, he or she is moody, fluctuating mood, or crying, or like always smiling, or flat affect, that I have to include in the word of the subjective thing. And after that, what is the diurnal variation? Diurnal meaning during the day, or we can say like daily of each day. So diurnal variation of mood or affect is there or not, we can write. For example, I am observing a person, that the person is very much irritable, so I am writing the subjective thing is the person is very much irritable now, and diurnal variation is there, that means in a day situation he is something, and in a night situation he is something. If this is not, then I am writing no. If this is, then I am writing the yes thing. After that the objectivity thing is the anxious, panicky, fearful or depressed. If something you can easily observe that the person is very much anxious about anything, that is there is no that much of logical thing is happening, but she is anxious because it cannot control the environment, or that environment must study he or she still now cannot develop that. So there is something is different thing, that she or he is facing the difficulty for coping with the anxiety in him or her. That after that you can understand the panicky thing, the simple thing is that if the individual is anxious, then the individual, most of the people or the most of the individual who has the anxiety in his or her has the much probability to have the panicky or the panic attack things, because the anxiety make the individual a panicky one. He will respond in a panic way that everything is like destroying in his or her life. In that way is happening in their brain or in their concept, and you can easily understand. After that, the fearful or depressed, you can easily understand the person is very much he or she has the fear of something, very much dread, or very much frightful or fright he or she has. So that is different thing that you can understand easy also. Depression you can also find out. After that, euphoric, blunted, flat, weeping, irritable, cheerful, and others. Euphoric, that means high extent of happiness. Blunted or flat is both are in a same context or way. Blunted or flat mood, that the person is not in the stage of in the stage of feeling the emotions. For example, a person, if she or he is I am saying the blunted or flat mood, then what we can understand from this. For example, in his life something is different, it's so much heart wrenching, so much painful, that anybody will listen that can understand that so much painful, that will he or she, the other person will say you that it's so much painful, but the person in a state of mood or affect can't understand that emotional base of what is happening in his or her life. So that's the thing, is the blunted or the flat. Weeping spell is something like in everything, in anything he is like crying. If someone is saying or not, if something is happening or not, it's like a something is happened and start to cry. Something is nothing is happening, something is happening in not their way, start to cry. Like for example, like she or he thought after the school going back to home, and he or she will go for a shopping, or go for a not go for a shopping, go for a not go for a shopping, but he will see a program in the TV, but for a reason he cannot that, or the TV show is not happening in that time, start to crying. So that's the thing. Irritability is also there, cheerful is also there. For anything he or she will tell you, wow, this is very good, this is something excellent, or blah blah blah. So that's the cheerful, you can see that. After that, comments also we have to include, or we can include. Mood or affect also include the depth, normal or shallow, range, adequate or restricted, stability, stable, liable, inconsistent. Depth, normal or shallow. Depth means the emotional depth, how much the person can feel the emotion of the others, the emotion of own, that is the thing is there. So we have to check that by giving the something example, and by taking the or we can say like by listening the information, we can understand the depth is there is not normal or shallow. Everything we can understand by giving the example, and what type of the answer he or she is giving to us, that by that we can understand that. Range is adequate or restricted. Adequate or restricted means according to their situation, is mood or affect is fluctuating, or all the time the affect or mood is in that base only. Stability is stable, labile or inconsistent, that according to their situation. I'm sorry, that is the labile. So according to the situation, what type of the thing is happening, according to that we will include in our format. After that, congruence to thought, appropriate to the situation, communicability, reactivity to the situation. So the congruence to thought means, the thing is that congruence is like if there is any type of the coherence is there is not, harmony is there or not, according to their situation is thought is going or not. So that is the congruence in the thought. After that is the, after the congruence of the thought, after that we can see like appropriate to the situation. If my mood or affect is going appropriate to the situation is not, something is else is there. Communicability, I can communicate according to our situation or my situation. Reactivity to the situation is according to situation or not, that everything will go according to his or her situation only. After that, the speech include the intensity or tone, soft, audible, loud or whispering. Soft means you can understand by listening her speech only, this thing, that very much in a low voice, in a soft, like a very, like a feather, by listening. Audible, like you can hear that. Loud, in very much in a screaming way he is saying. Whispering is like in a whispered way. After that, reaction to the stimulus. Immediate, shortened, delayed or normal. Immediate means after the stimulus, whenever a stimulus is coming, he or she is giving the reaction immediately, or he or she is giving the reaction immediately. Means immediately the stimulus came and gave the reaction. Delayed is stimulus came and giving the reaction in a delay manner, time taking. Normal is stimulus came, processing in the brain, and after that giving the reaction. Shortened is stimulus came and in very short way, I can say like in a very brief way, he or she is giving the reaction. After that, the speed. Normal, very slow, rapid, pressure of speech. Prosody or tempo is like normal, fluctuating or monotonous. Speed is the speed of the speech. Normal or very slow. Very slow is he or she is saying. Rapidly, very speedily he or she is saying. Or pressure of speech is there is not. Pressure of speech is like something different. Is like when you talk faster than usual, it can feel like you can't stop. It's different than talking fast because you are excited or you naturally speak that way. So basically the thing is like that. Something you can, for example, now I am saying in the way you can take this as for the pressure of speech, because this is not my normal speed of speech. I am so much excited now, and in for my excitement I am talking like that because I am presenting something to you. So for this excitement there is my normal speed of speech is gone, and what type of now I am going like faster than usual. So this is the very much example of pressure of speech. After that, the normal, fluctuating and monotonous tempo. So this is thing also include in the speech things, that is the you are saying in a normal way, you are saying in a fluctuating way, sometimes you are saying, sometimes you are not saying, or monotonous way, like again and again you are saying the same thing. After that, ease of speech: hesitant, mute, spontaneous, slurring, shattering, whispering, muttering, speaks only when questioned. Hesitant means there can be a hesitation. Mute means stop. Spontaneous, he is speaking in a spontaneous way. There is no type of the lacking or something is like forgetting the words, or there is no stop. In a flexible way, in a floating way, he or she is saying. Slurring or stuttering is like the thing something different. Slurring means like a drunk, and shattering means very shocking or upsetting way he or she is saying something to you. After that, whispering we know, muttering we know, speaks only when questioned we also know. After that, the productivity: normal, overabundant, poverty of speech, poverty of content, relevant, irrelevant to the context, coherent or incoherent. Productivity is the quality or the effectiveness of the speech. It is normal or overabundant, like anything or everything I can remember or why I want to, I am just saying. There is no limitation is there. Poverty of speech is like I have poverty of words or sentences. I cannot speak that much that I want to. That is the poverty of speech. Poverty of content, like I don't have any type of the thing to say. Relevant, that what type of the discussion was going on, I am speaking or saying something in regarding that content or context. Relevant to the context or not, that is also the same thing is there. Coherent or incoherent, there is a congruence or not, according to the discussion is going on not. There is like something is like logical or consistent or not, that's also included here. After that, goal direction: goal directed, non goal directed, circumstantial or tangential, is like whatever discussion was going on, if I am saying something that is according to that discussion is going, or if I am saying something what type of the issue I have come here, or what type of issue I want to solve, for this I hear now, so I am saying something regarding that. So that is the goal direction. After that, thought content and thought process. It includes stream: normal, retarded. Regarding retarded, there is the thought blocking, circumstantialities. After that, accelerated include the flight of ideas, prolixity, pressure of speech. So after that, I am trying to say like stream of thought. So what's the stream of thought? Stream of thought is like a continuous flow of thought. We have to understand that if there is the stream of thought is continuous or not, whatever according to the thought or the thinking process the person is saying, so whatever he or she is saying or try to say, the continuity of that thought is there or not. After that, the stream of thought is like normal and retarded. Normal is like there is that stream of thought is there and also a continuous process there, and also the thing is normal. And the retarded is like is something is lacking in a way. So whenever is something is lacking in a way, lacking means in a like there is a two option is like thought blocking and circumstantial. I am going by this example is that thought blocking is means like he is saying something, and after some a while he stops to talk, or we can say like after some a while there is no thought is coming to say about. Circumstantialities means sometimes he is saying, sometimes he is not saying. That is the thing. And in this way we can understand that there is something issue is happening. Circumstances is like we can say about the sometimes is condition is happening, or sometimes there is an event or action. I am giving an example as in that moment only he or she is saying something, otherwise he or she is nothing he or she is saying. After that, the accelerated, that includes the flight of ideas, prolixity, and also the pressure of speech. The thing is that the pressure of speech we already discussed about. And we have to first understand the meaning of accelerate is something the rate or amount or extent that include the meaning of accelerate. So pressure of speech we already said about that something is not normal than usual, something is very much speedy in a way. So that's the thing. Flight of ideas means many ideas is coming to his or her mind. That's the thing of flight of ideas. And he is just saying this idea, after that in a jump way he is saying another idea, in a jump way he is saying another idea. It's like a jumping of ideas. So that is like a flight, how a flight always fly. The ideas of the person is also flying in that way only. After that we have to discuss about the prolixity. So what's the meaning of prolixity? Prolixity is like excess of words. Excess of words is the prolixity. When I am saying when I am saying a sentence, I can mean the sentence, or I can say the sentence in a very brief way. But whenever I am saying in a very excessive way, like I am defining meaning of sentence or the words in a by a four meaning or by a four synonyms, so that's the excess of words, that's the prolixity. After that, sample talk, and that sample talk is also is like what information, what sentences give me this information, that person has this. After that is the form. In the form, this include the normal, derailment, losing of association, neologism, word salad, incoherent, clang, and illogicality. Normal we can understand. Derailment is something is like we can say something is lacking, something is delayed. Yeah, so in that way, something is like not in a way, or everything has a something way or path, and in that way we always go about. It can be something saying, it can be something walking, and when we are diverting from that way, or there is some obstruction is in the way, that we can say about the derailment. Losing of association is something is like I am saying something, and after that whatever I am saying something, between those there is no association. Word salad is many words are coming, that doesn't have it of the connection or the association with my speech. After that, the incoherence we know, illogicality we know. What's the meaning of clang? and also the neologism. Clang is something what to say, something is like a vibration, is like a ringing, resound, reverberation, revibration, reverberate. This is the thing. This is the synonyms or the meaning of the clang. So in the speech we can understand that vibration or the sound, and also the meaning of the neologism. Basically the neologism means new. Neologism, the word neologism is talking about the new, and logism means the word. So the new word, neologism means neo to new, and logism means the word. So neologism means the new word. So whenever there is the use of new words, we can say as the neologism. After that, it's also include the tangentiality, distractibility, circumstantialities, loss of goals, self-reference. So what's the meaning of the distractible? Distractible is the thing is like distracted speech. For example, the person is saying about the content, and after some while or after some minute, another thing or the stimulus come, and she starts to talking about that. For example, it can happen, and also this can happen like she is saying something, and from that he is going here, not physically, his speech, he starts to a point and starts to going to another point. For example, he starts to talk about the geography, and that by the geographical location, and he comes to about the geographical location, to the people, to what they eat, to what they dress. So this is the thing is distractible, what they used to do for survive, used to farm. So that's the thing of distractible. So starting a point and going distracted to the another point. So distractibility is there. Tangentiality means like is, for example, the thing is that the phenomena in which a person constantly digresses to random irrelevant ideas and topics. For example, a person might start telling a story about loads the story. A person might start telling a story, but about the loads the story down, or by the loads the story down with so much irrelevant detail that they never get to the point or the conclusion. So in this way we can understand the tangentiality. So the word was the tangentiality. So the means is that becomes so much tangent, I am in that way, like I am starts to a point and going to the another point, and I am not going to the conclusion, I start to the point, and including the many extraneous thing is that in that, and that becomes so much bounded, no, not bounded, so much burdened, and getting out to the another conclusion. So that's the tangentiality. Loss of goals we also can understand. So the thing is that I start to talk to the point and talking about some another point. Circumstantiality is like I am giving an example or event or the circumstances, and the person is talking to that only, or whenever the example or the event is coming out, the person is only that moment the person is talking. Self-reference is like in every cases, in every situation, he is including the self to that I did this, I did that, this happened to me, that happened to me. It's like the self-reference. After that, self-talk also included in this case. Continuing is like possession, obsession and compulsion. Thought alienation is the thought insertion, thought broadcasting, and thought insertion included double. If something obsession is there, if something compulsion is there, not all the person has obsession is compulsion is there. but all the person who has the compulsion has the obsession is there. So something in a continuous way, in a rule way, when we are doing that in a obsessive and compulsive way we are doing that. After the thought alienation is the thought insertion or thought broadcasting is there or not, is like thought insertion is like inserting, basically the inserting, the person is experiencing like one's own thought as someone else thought, like this is his or her own thought, but he is experienced like no, this is not my thought, this is the someone else thought, this is his thought or her thought. So in this case one still experience oneself as the owner of an inserted thought, means this type of thought, whatever is coming into my brain is not my thought, it's another person's thought, and I am the owner of the thought. That means this is inserted in me, not my thought, but this is inserted in me. This is the thing, I am the owner who own that. This is not my thought, this is the another's thought, and I own that. This is the thing of thought insertion that basically we can see in the case of schizophrenia, and in the case of the broadcasting. Thought broadcasting is like whatever I am thinking, the another person can understand and easily can know. Basically he know the other person knows whatever I am thinking, everything, every information he or she has about me, whatever information I am thinking, he know. So basically this is the case of the thought broadcasting. This is also we can see in the case of the schizophrenia. After that also the sample talk comes. After that we know about the content: religious preoccupation, philosophical preoccupation, sexual preoccupation, somatic preoccupation with the precipitating factors. Religious preoccupation means about the religiosity, about the religious, we have or I have some preoccupied thought. Philosophical preoccupation is also like that. For example, about our life I have some thought, like life is this, so about the relationship I have some thought, so relationship is this. So this is the philosophical thought that is already preoccupied. Sexual preoccupation: sex is this, sex like this, you don't know, I know. Basically the thing is, this is the sexual information already preoccupied. Somatic information is like the information that is related to our body, and that information is preoccupied. It can be anything. And also preoccupation with the precipitating factors. Precipitating factors means what factors or the stimulus cause this problem to happen. This is the precipitating factors, and the person has some preoccupied thought about the precipitating factors. That for example, an accident is happened, and after that there was some surgery for the person, and the person is like, this happened, that's why that accident happened, this happened, that's why this accident happened. It's like that. After that is the excess daydreaming, phobia, delusion, present absent, idea of reference, persecution, grandiosity, and infidelity. These also include like person has any type of the issue of excess daydreaming, that this is me, I have this will have me, this. Phobia, if any type of the phobia the person is have. Delusion is present absent. For example, delusion is the belief, false belief. So if there is any type of the false belief, like I am this, I am that, I have this car, I have this house, is like idea of reference, like idea of persecution, grandiosity, and infidelity is like the action of mentioning. That means that the other person is mentioning his or her name. So that is the idea of reference, when that idea of reference, that someone is referring me. That is the idea of reference. I am always being referred. That's the idea of reference. Persecution is that others are planning to kill me. Grandiosity is like in case of the we see narcissism. Grandiosity, I am this, that. Infidelity is like the when is like the unfaithful to his spouse or the other sexual partner, and the person with schizophrenia, they has this type of the state, like they always think that the his or her person, the sexual partner or the spouse, is being unfaithful to him or her. This is the thing in case of the schizophrenia. This is also include like content also include like hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness, guilt, death wishes, suicidal ideas, homicidal ideas, hypochondriacally ideas. Is like that that we can say hopelessness is that there is nothing hope. Helplessness, always the person is that I am helpless. Worthlessness, that is I am not so much valuable. Guilt is always that why I did this, why I talk like this, why I thought like this. Death wishes, why I am here, I should die. Suicidal ideas is like that. Homicidal ideas is like kill something or murder something. That's the homicidal ideas. Hypochondriacally ideas is it is like excessive concern about one's health, excessive concern that I have this. Someone is like considering that he is suffering from cough, so he is like cough, no, this is not cough, this is something else, this you don't know. This is the thing, is that is the excessive concern about oneself. This cough happened, so I will suffer from this happened, this is like. And in this case, affected or the produced by hypochondria, and given my hypochondrial nature, in this case person will say like that and I have no choice but to see my doctors regularly. I have to visit the doctor. Basically they are the people who are excessively concerned about their health. And in the case of the hypochondriasis, you always see that the person regularly check up the doctor. They visit the doctor for no reason. They have nothing in their health, nothing, they have problem in their health, but they visit regularly in doctor's chamber, and they change the doctor's chamber also regularly. For example, he or she is visiting a doctor's chamber for 2 months or 3 months. After 3 months he will change the doctor and will visit another doctor again, and will tell that this doctor is not so much helpful, do not know anything, very much problem I am suffering, but cannot find out anything, didn't know anything, I have to change my doctor. Definitely he or she will find something else. So this is the thing always happen with the hypochondriasis person. He will say like, this doctor is not very well, cannot find any type of the problem, I should visit the another problem. Many things I am suffering from, but didn't know anything about, and say me that you don't have any type of the problem. So this is not, can't happen. So this type of the thing we can see as in case of the hypochondria says, and this type of the ideas we can see in the person also. After that, the sample talk, this I also included and also discussed about. After that, the perception, illusion, hallucination, type of hallucination. Illusion is present or absent. In the case of the illusion, the stimulus is always present, but we always observe, basically we always perceive in a distorted manner. After that, the hallucination, the stimulus is not present, but we perceiving Types of hallucination is the auditory, visual, tactile and olfactory. Illusion is present or absent, we have to write. Hallucination is present or absent, we have to write. Types of hallucination is the auditory hallucination. Whenever the auditory hallucination is something in an audible manner when we are receiving the false information, like there is no sound but I am receiving some sound. Visual is there is no stimulus is there but I am receiving some information. Tactile is there is no stimulus in on my skin but I am feeling that something is running or walking on my hand or on my skin. Olfactory is something I can smell but nothing is there. That is the olfactory thing. After that the sample talk also include. After this there is also something is there in the case in the mental status examination format that we have to include to get the more information, but this will make this video or the format more longer, so I will keep it or I will make the extra whatever we have, not extra, this also include in the format, but I will make another video for this, the second part of the case history format, because if I am doing in a full video, then that will make the video a long video, that will that I don't want to make a long video. So I will make a second part of this and I will make you people understand of that second part of the mental status examination, and I will tell you in the second part what type of the thing also include in that part and what type of information we have to include in that part. And again I am saying that thank you for observing and watching my videos, and like and subscribe my channel. And also I am trying to say that all of this information I am saying to you, this is only on based upon my own understanding and the ideas and the concepts, and that can be right and that can be wrong. So for the more information you can also watch other channels and also the others research paper and others books. This is all about on my ideas of or the concept. So this can right or wrong, but I have tried my level best, and all of these are my own understanding. Thank you for listening this video, and like and share my channel, and thank you.